What if I told you that the golden dagger of a boy king came from outer space, a gift from the heavens? Today we're exploring the most baffling mysteries of ancient Egypt that continue to stump historians and archaeologists. From pyramids in Antarctica to a queen who vanished without a trace, these enigmas will challenge everything you think you know about one of history's greatest civilizations. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Awaken the Humans. I'm your host, and today we're peeling back the layers of sand and time to journey into the heart of ancient Egypt's most enduring secrets. These aren't just historical footnotes. They're gaping holes in our understanding of a culture that shaped the world. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're about to explore some truly mind-blowing history. Kicking off our list is a discovery that sounds like science fiction: King Tut's dagger from outer space. When Howard Carter unsealed the Boy King's tomb in 1922, he found countless treasures, but nestled within the mummy's wrappings was a dagger with a blade that hadn't rusted in over 3,000 years. For decades, its pristine condition was a complete puzzle. Then, in 2016, scientific analysis delivered a shocking answer. The iron in the blade wasn't from Earth. It was forged from a meteorite. The composition, rich in nickel and cobalt, matched that of meteorites found in the region. This celestial origin explains why the ancient Egyptians referred to iron as iron from the sky. They didn't just see it as a rare metal. They saw it as a literal gift from the gods, imbuing this very dagger with miraculous and spiritual powers far beyond any earthly weapon. This otherworldly artifact leads us directly to our next enigma: the curse of King Tut's tomb. Legends of a curse protecting the pharaoh's final resting place were whispered about long before Carter's discovery. But after the tomb was opened and the sacred dagger removed, those whispers became screams. The expedition's financier, Lord Carnarvon, died just a few months later from an infected mosquito bite that turned into blood poisoning. His death was just the beginning. In the years that followed, at least 7 other individuals connected to the excavation died under mysterious or untimely circumstances. Coincidence? Perhaps. But ancient Egyptian texts contained clear warnings for those who would disturb the eternal sleep of the pharaohs. Many believed that opening the tomb and disturbing artifacts like the celestial dagger unleashed a deadly supernatural force, making King Tut's curse one of history's most chilling and debated legends. Next, we move from the sands of Egypt to the ice of the South Pole, where we uncover a mystery that could rewrite global history. In 2016, satellite images of Antarctica revealed something impossible: distinct, pyramid-like structures emerging from the ice. Honestly, though, it's not impossible if you have an open mind. That said, it is something quite incredible. One of these formations is a massive 4-sided pyramid with a perfectly square base, each side measuring an astonishing 2 kilometers. How could this be? The prevailing theory is that these are natural geological formations known as nunataks. But the sheer symmetry has led some to question that conclusion, suggesting that ancient humans may have reached the continent thousands of years ago when it was not an icy wasteland. Supporting this radical idea, a 2017 study by German geologists found evidence that Antarctica once had a temperate, rainforest-like climate, much like northern Italy today. They discovered fossilized pollen and spores from ancient trees, proving the continent was once warm enough to support lush vegetation. Could a civilization have thrived there before the ice came, leaving behind monumental structures now buried beneath miles of frozen water? Our journey brings us back to Giza, to a monument as famous as the pyramids, but potentially far, far older: the Great Sphinx. Orthodox Egyptology dates the Sphinx to around 2500 BC, attributing its construction to the pharaoh Khafre. But a growing body of evidence challenges this timeline. First, there's the inventory stela, a stone tablet discovered at Giza, which records that Pharaoh Khufu, who reigned before Khafre, found the Sphinx already existing and in need of repair after being struck by lightning. This suggests the monument was already ancient in Khufu's time. The most compelling evidence, however, is carved into the very stone of the monument. The body of the Sphinx and the walls of its enclosure show deep vertical erosion patterns. Geologists argue this is classic water weathering caused by millennia of heavy rainfall. But the Sahara hasn't seen that kind of rain for thousands of years. This evidence points to a much older origin, possibly dating back to the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 BC. If true, the Sphinx isn't a monument of dynastic Egypt, but a ruin from a lost pre-dynastic civilization. The pyramids themselves, while we know who built them, still hold the secret of how. The Great Pyramid of Giza is made of 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. Theories involving massive ramps, levers, and pulleys abound, but none fully explain how the ancient Egyptians moved and placed these colossal stones with such hair's-breadth precision, aligning the structure almost perfectly with the cardinal directions. The mathematical and engineering knowledge required remains a source of intense debate and awe, leaving the exact construction methods one of Egypt's greatest unsolved puzzles. Beyond the stone and sand, some of Egypt's greatest mysteries are its missing people, chief among them, Queen Nefertiti, the wife of the heretic pharaoh Akhenaten. Nefertiti was one of the most powerful women in Egyptian history, often depicted with power equal to her husband. Then, around the 14th year of Akhenaten's reign, she vanishes completely from the historical record. Did she die? Was she exiled? Did she take on a new name and rule as a pharaoh herself? Her final resting place has never been found, despite tantalizing theories that she may lie in a hidden chamber within Tutankhamun's own tomb. Her disappearance remains one of the most profound cold cases in all of history. The death of her famous stepson, King Tutankhamun, is another mystery that endures. Dying at just 19, the cause of his demise has been debated for a century. Analysis of his mummy revealed he suffered from malaria and a number of genetic issues due to inbreeding. But it's the physical trauma that sparks controversy. A fracture in his femur and a fragment of bone found inside his skull have led to theories of murder, perhaps a blow to the head or a chariot accident. Others argue the damage was accidental, a result of a fall, or even inflicted clumsily by the embalmers during the mummification process. Was his death a tragic accident, a result of his frail health, or a sinister palace assassination? We may never know for sure. The purpose of the Great Sphinx is another puzzle. While its gaze is iconic, its original function is completely unknown. Was it a guardian of the Giza Plateau? An astronomical marker? Some theories even suggest its head, which is disproportionately small for its body, was recarved from an earlier, larger head, perhaps that of a lion or the jackal god Anubis. This ties back to the water erosion theory, suggesting a much older monument was repurposed by later pharaohs, its true meaning lost to time. Egypt is also a land of lost places, sites mentioned in ancient texts that have never been found, such as the next mystery. The legendary Labyrinth, described by the Greek historian Herodotus as a massive temple complex with 3,000 rooms, built by Amenhotep III, has vanished. Herodotus claimed it surpassed even the pyramids in scale and wonder, yet its location remains unknown. Similarly, the final resting place of Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, and her lover Mark Antony, is a mystery. Ancient writers claimed they were buried together in a magnificent tomb near Alexandria, but despite extensive searches, it has never been discovered. Another lost location is the fabled kingdom of Punt. Ancient Egyptian records describe Punt as a wealthy and exotic land of riches, a trading partner that supplied Egypt with gold, incense, myrrh, and exotic animals. Expeditions to Punt are famously depicted on the walls of Queen Hatshepsut's temple, but the exact location of this prosperous kingdom remains a complete mystery. Scholars have proposed it could be in modern-day Somalia, Ethiopia, or even Yemen, but without definitive archaeological proof, the land of the gods remains lost. Finally, we have one of the most bizarre and intriguing mysteries, the Dendera light. Inside the temple of Hathor at Dendera, there are interesting reliefs, paintings, carvings and depictions on the many thick pillars, walls both inside and outside, and the ceilings. In some, priests are shown holding what look remarkably like giant light bulbs. These objects feature a large transparent bulb with a snake-like filament running inside, connected by a cable to a box that resembles a power source. Fringe theories have jumped on this as evidence of ancient electrical knowledge, suggesting the Egyptians had mastered electric lighting. As humans, we do tend to project our reality onto others. Mainstream Egyptologists, however, interpret the imagery symbolically, representing the birth of a snake god from a lotus flower. But the striking resemblance to a Crookes tube or a modern light bulb is undeniable, leaving the Dendera light as a fascinating visual puzzle, blurring the line between ancient symbolism and lost technology. What do you think is the explanation for some of these? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown and unconfirmed, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for being here with me. Have a great day ahead.